Hey friends, before I got started with this video, I wanted to share with you this information because we get a lot of questions about where do we get the equipment that we use. Most of the equipment we get is from Amazon, and we have a shop, and it's called store.garageprospecting.com. I will add that to the description box below. But as you can see, it has all the items that we've used in our programs. So if there's something that you're interested in, you can go to Amazon. You don't have to pay any extra for it. We get a commission based on each sale that's taken out of Amazon's end as opposed to our end. The only thing that you can't find on Amazon is the Mighty Mill, and the only place that you can find that is on eBay, and the gentleman sells them in batches, and as you can see, there is one left in this batch. And then there's about a month hiatus, and then he puts out another batch. So I wanted to put that out there for you before we started this program. Okay, thanks. All right, guys, here we go with this week's processing. We have kind of an interesting process for you today. And what we're going to do is process this ore that we got from genuine Colorado gold ore at colorado.goldore.com. And the reason I have it separated is because these pieces here are too big to go through the Mighty Mill Grizzly. These will go through, so I have to break these down a little bit further. And so the process is, we're doing an intro. I want to show you what gold looks like in the matrix, so you have an idea of what we're looking for here under the microscope. Then I'm going to take this stuff, put it under the jackhammer, and break some stuff up so that it's smaller than the 1-inch Grizzly here. Then we'll run everything through the Mighty Mill. We'll take that because it's going to come out like a talcum powder. It comes out very soft and very fine. And then we're going to run that through the cleanup sluice. I'm going to use a small sluice again because it is very, very fine. And then we'll pan the concentrates, see what we've got under the microscope. We'll weigh it all up, and then we'll bag it into a New Mexico pay dirt bag so that you guys can win on Friday night. So important to remember, please make a comment on this video if you want a chance of winning this next Wednesday. But you want to make a comment on this video, that's where we'll get our winners from, all right? So before I go break this up, I wanted to show you what you're looking for when you get this kind of material. So I've got it under the microscope here. Okay, so I wanted to show you a little bit about what gold looks like in a matrix. This happens to be a piece of quartz that I own, and it's a very small piece, but it does have gold in it. Unfortunately, one of the things that you're going to find when you find gold in a matrix is you're also going to find other minerals along with it that are very common. In this case, this is pyrite in the matrix, and as you can see, it doesn't look anything like gold. It's got that shiny to it. But if I move over here, what I want to show you is what you're looking for. And I think it's right here. Okay. So if we look at that piece, let me get it right in the middle so you know what I'm talking about. If we look at that piece in the middle, that's pyrite. But if you look above it, you'll see a small flake of gold embedded in the matrix. And that's what you're looking for. That's what this is. The one below it is even more pyrite, but the one above it is gold. And I think there's another piece right over here as well. Let me get you over to that. So I'm going to bring that up to the, oh, I can't bring it up any higher. So that small piece there just below the center and just at about the 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock point, those are also flakes of gold. And once you break them out, you can see that they are indeed. So that's what we're looking for. Very fine flakes of gold that come out of this matrix. And hopefully by putting them through the Mighty Mill, we'll be able to process them out using the sluice. All right? So let me get the jackhammer set up. I call it the jackhammer. It's a hammer drill. We'll get that set up, and we'll break this down just a little bit more so that it will go into the grizzly here. All right? Okay, guys. All right, guys, here we go. It's going to get loud here in just a minute. What we've got here is the, right down here in the blue, is the material that I've got to break down. In order to break that down, I'm going to use an Inventor, that's the name of the company, Inventor, I think it's Spanish, to break it down. It's called a rotary drill, but it also does hammer, vibrates really fast, and it's really heavy. It requires AC power, so you can run it out in the field, but you're going to have a generator to go along with it, and it draws a lot of amps. So, and then here is a plate, I call it a bucket plate, that I made myself. It's like a 12-inch piece of 1/8-inch iron, and then I got a 4-inch tube, and I had my friend cut it, and I just welded around it so that it doesn't splash, so the rocks don't splash all over the place. I already got one in there to break it down, so I'm going to turn down the volume, turn on the music, because this does get loud, and it's not a very fast process. So here we go. All right, sorry about that, guys. I accidentally hit the camera mount with my shoulder, and it knocked the camera onto the ground, and then it got mad at me and overheated. So I only had that one piece left anyway, so let me just finish up with that, and then we'll see where to go next, all right? Okay, that's taken care of. Let me show you what it looks like now. Also, I was going to mention, if I hadn't already, make sure you're wearing protection, both ear and eye protection when you're doing this, because it'll spit it all back up at you. So that's what we got now. So all the pieces are smaller. Let me say this one piece just to make sure. Yep, so it'll all go into the Mighty Mill. So let's get the Mighty Mill set up, and we'll go to the next step, all right? All right, guys, let me show you what we have here in the way of setup. So this is the Mighty Mill. This is where the material flows in through. It gets beat up inside of there. It comes through a screen here into this tube and through this process right here. Now, at the end of all this is a shop vac. It's creating the vacuum that brings the material through here into the dust stopper, and then all this is, again, to create a vacuum. None of the material goes in there. It all ends up in the bottom of this bucket, okay? So it avoids material going everywhere. It avoids any silica dust being created. I do wear a mask just to be safe, but it's designed so that you don't get any silica dust coming out of here, as you would otherwise. Now, in addition to that, I made some improvements to the Mighty Mill. Not only have I bolted it to this 1x10, something like that, I did get a new Bauer grinder because I felt the less expensive one wasn't heavy enough. And I've also mounted it in a sturdy way so that it's pretty much captured there and there's not a lot of movement. Also, I had a suggestion from the gentleman who built the Mighty Mill. He saw one of my shows and he suggested that I don't run it continuously. That will overheat the motor and overheat the bearings back here on the Mighty Mill. So he suggested I just run a little bit at a time, keep it running for short periods, and then and just do it a little bit at a time as opposed to just turning it on full blast. Okay, so let me get this set up on a tripod so you can look over my shoulder and you can see how this all operates. And in the end, we should have a little pile of dust in the bottom of that orange bucket right there. Okay? All right, guys, so I've got the, I guess there's no need for me to, I'm going to put it all in here. Now, there are some smaller pieces of material that towards the end, I'm just going to pour into that so that I can pour it into here. In the meantime, I'm going to keep it off there because this all gets pretty vibrational. So I showed you down there is the shop vac. I'll turn that on. Then we're going to run this a little bit at a time rather than just leaving it on as recommended by our friend who made the Mighty Mill and who saw one of our shows. Okay? Shouldn't take long, but it's going to get loud, so I'll cue up the music here for you. I'll show you how loud it's going to get first, and then I'll cue up the music. That's a shop vac. The Mighty Mill sounds like this. Okay, that's everything. Let me take my gear. So that's everything in terms of putting it through the crusher. It will have gone down this tube and into the orange bucket, but there's always a little bit of material in here that gets trapped behind the chains. And so I'm gonna take that off and brush it into the bucket, and then I'll show you what's in the bucket. So by the time you see me the next time, this will be off and everything will be in the bucket, and then we'll just take a look at what's in the bucket, okay? So I know the lighting's not the best at this particular angle, but this is what I meant. So this is the bucket that has all the material in it, but what happens is some of this other material gets trapped in here, and you got to get it in the bucket because you might have some gold in there. So I've learned to do this afterwards. And I took my mask off, and I shouldn't have. So to me, this is the place where you're going to lose gold, because it's going to end up not going in the bucket. It's going to fall on here. It's going to fall on the floor, and you're going to have to sweep that up and get it in here. So let me show you, see if you can see what's in there. The camera's at the wrong angle, but I'm going to adjust the camera in real time here. Okay. So, good. So that's what we have in the bucket down there. Right? It's just a talcum-like powdery material with lots of sparkle in it that's probably as much pyrite as it is gold or anything else. But we'll take that and put it in a container, and then put some water into it, and we'll run it through. Ooh, is that gold right there? Oh, there it goes. Had a chance and I lost it. All right, let me set up the cleanup sluice and we'll go from there. So I've got about 25% of this battery left in my action cam, my DJ action cam, so I thought I'd take it to weigh this up. See how much we got. All right. Oh, I didn't hold it. So it's £1 8 7/8. So 1 pound 9 ounces worth of material. So that's a good place to start. I keep seeing sparkly things in there. All right, let me get the sluice set up so we can make this run. All right, guys, let me make sure audio's okay. Audio's okay. I have some, as you can see, some jet dry in there. I've also brushed out all the bubbles from there. I'm only running it at 7 volts rather than 7.5. Since this material is so fine, I thought I'd run it a little bit slower. That also means that we're going to get more concentrates along with it, but I have no idea what we're going to find. And as you can see, as I promised before, I wet the material, which I will continue to do since it seems to, have an effect on the final result. All right, cue the music. So the first thing that you notice, so all along here, we've got some gold. But the other thing that you notice is there's not a lot of black material. There's very little. You're fighting with all this white material, but there is gold in there, and it's flatter than a pancake. So I guess it goes through the mighty mill as well. So let me get this cleaned out and get it in dried out, and I'll get in a container. We'll look at it under the microscope. Then we will weigh it, although again, I don't think there's a lot out there. We'll weigh it, and then we'll add it to a bag of Garage Prospecting New Mexico blend that already has gold in it. So you're going to get two kinds of gold, Colorado and New Mexico in the same package, okay? So let me get this cleaned out, and I'll have a picture for you. I'll get it under the microscope in just a bit. Okay, let's start by looking at this material under the microscope. So first thing that I notice is it's nowhere near as shiny as other gold that we've processed. It's actually kind of dull. But some pieces are flat, some pieces aren't. I did get some black material in there, but it's not magnetic. It doesn't come up with a magnet. And they look like little, like pebbles. So let's zoom in a little bit, see if we can get how much tighter we can get on some of this stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, any way you look at it, gold is gold. I don't know what that material is right there. That might be some of the pyrite that got beat up in the mighty mill, because it's got a little shine to it, you know? It's very different from any other material. What I thought was interesting was this one right here that looks like that it's still gold, but it's still in a matrix of some kind of rock. I don't think I've seen that before. I don't know what's on the end over there. So yeah, a lot of shiny stuff. Probably some of that pyrite. Wow, that's really interesting. That little rocky gold there. Pretty neat. Let's see what else we got. Any shapes? Any teddy bears for a cat? Yeah, I don't know. That's some pretty shiny stuff there. That silver stuff. I'm going to guess it's pyrite as opposed to silver, but it looks like the Mighty Mill did its job. That rod there in the middle looks kind of crystalline. There's some quartz in there. Look at that. Yeah. Okay, so my official favorite is the little gold brown rock. That's very cool. Okay, let's move over to the scale and get some weight on it. I don't know how much it'll be. I'll be surprised if it's any at all, but you know, I gotta do it. Turn this on. Turn it out. Now remember, I'm going to add this to Garage Prospecting Pay Dirt number 31, Garage Prospecting New Mexico's blend, which already has gold in it, plus the Colorado gold ore. So you get a double barrel version of what we got here. A little over 1/10 of a gram, 0.135. There's some black stuff in there too, but it's pretty good looking gold. So let's get it in the bag here. And remember, in order to win this, you have to do two things. Number one, you have to make a comment on this video. Any kind of comment will do. Best wishes are always nice. Telling Shelly she's cute is nice. Telling me I'm cute is nice. What the hell? But the other thing that you have to do is you have to be present next Wednesday night to win, because if you're not in the room, you're not going to win. So that was the first time we processed ore in a while. I really liked the way the Mighty Mill performed. It did its job really well. I don't know if you saw the changes that I made to it, but the combination of the Mighty Mill and that dust stopper along with the shop vac really takes care of a lot of the mess that you usually get. Usually when you're doing that, you have to do it outside. Hang on, I got to turn off the video on the microscope. So there we go. All right, I will go process this video. We'll set it up for tomorrow night, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. Thanks for watching, and be with us on Wednesday night to see if you're a winner of this bag. We will also have another bag for giveaway, but this is going to be the New Mexico blend plus Colorado gold ore. And I think I'm going to order some more ore. I like processing it. It's a lot of fun. It makes me feel like I'm, you know, a real prospector, which I'm not, but I have fun doing it. All right, guys, thanks for watching.